order. We have approved agenda. Second item of business is the oath of office of Corey Fortune, Josh Geigel, Elaine Simon, and Ruth Sandel. So, how do you guys do it? Do you stand?
We just stand right.
All at once?
We'll read it all together at once.
Okay.
I just have one quick question. I think we added approve agenda underneath one.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that before we got it.
Okay, so and I have that. Okay,
So we should amend it and add.
we are approved agenda.
Yeah, we approved the agenda.
Okay. Is there amendments?
I'll make a motion that we approve the second agenda and add with the addition of bridge under oath of office.
Any seconds? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Okay. And Elaine, if you don't mind, I'd like to read yours to all of you, and then I'll hand it back to you.
Stand up or?
Yep. If you please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, and that you would faithfully and impartially perform your duties as a member of the school board of the Wall School District 51-5, Pennington County, South Dakota, to the best of your ability, in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified? If you do, answer I do.
I do. I do.
Thank you. Okay, line item 3, elect a board chairperson. Open the floor to nominations.
I would move to nominate Josh Geigel as board chairman and request nominations cease and to cast a unanimous ballot.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Josh Geigel is the board chairman.
Thank you.
You take over now?
Could, or if you wanna do 4, it don't matter to me.
I think he thinks so.
You're back on.
You're back on, go for it.
All right, item 4, elect a vice chairperson. I'll open the floor for nominations.
I would move to re-elect vice chairperson Cordes and cast a unanimous ballot for nominations to cease.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Got Spencer. Item 5, assign committees. Amy, do you have a sheet on these?
Yes, you
Just
should have
right
it.
Oh, right here it is,
It is on your.
on the back of this.
And up here behind me is, if I can make it get bigger. There we go.
I did not include Ryan's, spots though, because this was sent out to you before we had his resignation, so there's, the ones that are open are in red because of Jill's departure, and we'll also have the ones that Ryan was a part of that are vacant as well.
Could I request to give up my position as policy and move to the budget?
I would love that.
Sounds good to me.
Should we go, you wanna go down and say negotiate? negotiations and make the committees as is, or everybody wants to stay on the committees that they're already on? Or those of you that are new, is there a particular committee that you would like to have exposure to, or you feel that you have an insight on? Or do you have questions on any of these committees?
I'd like to go to the negotiations open, and maybe one of these gentlemen would be better at, cause Kirsten's is open too, maybe like on transportation or something.
In negotiations, we have Geigel, Anderson. Any interest in the open position, or?
Oh, she just.
Tommy was.
Tommy is, okay, sorry.
I don't know if anybody else is.
Anybody else? Now we have an open transportation.
Yeah.
Two.
And you wanted off transportation, so.
Yeah, I can get off transportation. Well, I see like Ryan had like 4, so it just depends, like I'm on 2, so I think it kinda varies.
Yeah, you can put me on.
Corey?
You can put me on there if you want, and then I'll let you guys decide that stuff. I've never for long. Need another guy.
You would do transportation also? Rick?
If there's another spot.
Yep, there is, yep. Negotiation and budget's done, right?
Yep.
Buildings and grounds, that's still good? Tommy and Spencer, you good with being on buildings and grounds?
Yeah.
Okay. Curriculum, we need someone to take Ryan's spot.
Where are you at?
I'm down to curriculum.
Okay.
Above that's filled, unless someone's got a burning desire to. So curriculum is Anderson, an open spot in Simons.
Where you at, Josh?
Curriculum.
I can take another one too, cause I'm just on 2, so
Okay.
whatever you guys want.
Well, we have 2 spots open in policy and 2 spots open in insurance.
Why don't you guys pick one and then take an extra one? I don't know if you want.
It's hard to say which one you want, we don't.
Right, we do this every year, so if you're on a committee and I don't fit you next year, you swap out.
Just put us where you think you need us, put us where you think you need us. So, I'm not gonna say, cause I haven't been here, so. We'll do our best.
Okay.
Well, this is an opportunity to either learn something new or be a part of something
I'll
that
go
you
on
may have a
policy.
piece in.
So it's no
Okay.
worries.
Okay.
So then I'm on 3, I think. You're on 3.
Who's on curriculum?
We only
We have
we have-
Anderson and Simon so far. So we need one for curriculum. Ridge, you wanna go there? Okay. Curriculum's taken care of.
Tommy's on policy.
Yeah, but we need another one because Carolyn requested.
Oh, yeah.
Policy.
Corey, you go there too?
Okay,
There's big 2 open on insurance too.
and we have 2 open on insurance.
How many are you on, Carolyn? Are you on 3? 3.
You can put me down for insurance too.
Okay. I could probably lead you on 2 or 3, yeah.
I'm on to transportation curriculum.
Okay.
Oh, did you say, I'm sorry.
Insurance.
Actually, I could have 4, but you could move me off curriculum.
Well, I'm not keeping up.
Okay, can
And
I?
so what you see up here is now distorted.
Yeah.
Let me,
And
if you're okay, I can tell what we have so far. Negotiations, we have Geigel, Anderson, and Monin, right?
Yep,
Budget is Geigel, Anderson, and Simons.
yep,
Buildings and grounds, Geigel, Cordis, and Monin.
yep,
No. Oh,
yep.
okay, yeah, you changed transportation, sorry.
Transportations, I have Cordis, Fortune, and Sandal.
Yep,
Curriculum, I have Anderson, Sandal, and Simons.
yep.
Is that correct? Fortune, Cordis, and Moen. But that's the one you decided to get off of, right?
What?
No, she
That
added
wasn't
herself.
Oh,
on
you
that.
added
Yeah.
that one, I'm sorry.
I just was on two, so I said I could do another one. So-
And then for insurance, I have Anderson, Fortune, and Sandal. No, that one, we can, I
I'll
might have-
remind you.
Okay, sounds good.
And that one, actually,
I'll need a little education on insurance, but I can do it.
And we're good.
and then marketing is the entire board, and legislative contact is Simon's. You good?
It's good.
I think so. Okay.
Alright,
There's no vote needed there, that was just done, okay? Ready to move on to item 6?
Budget.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have that at a certain time, don't
Okay,
we?
do I have it on this?
Number 12.
I'm not sure.
We
What
gotta jump
this
ahead
time-
to the
this-
budget hearing, right?
Yeah, this is just an opportunity if there's anyone from the audience or from the public that has any questions as a public hearing for the budget. Or if there's any questions from the board. And then we will, during my report, I'm gonna request a budget committee meeting, especially since we have new folks on the budget committee, and then we'll approve a final budget in September. So this is just solely the opportunity for the public to ask any questions or provide a comment on the budget. And this was published in the Pennington County Current.
Questions, comments on the budget? How long do we wait for?
That's enough.
That's enough?
Yeah, I mean. No? Okay. And for you new board members, I'd be happy to, meet with you and talk to you about the budget if you're interested in details. Otherwise, Ridge, I haven't sent it to you because I wasn't aware of you coming on tonight. But I did send it to you, Corey, so if you do have any questions, just feel free to reach out.
I'll get you an email.
He needs really good.
Thank you.
Okay.
I nerd out pretty hard during that.
Yeah.
Budget hearing over?
Yes.
Okay, back to item 6 then.
Right.
Okay, Mayor, either SRO discussion? No show? Move on. Okay. Item 7, motion to approve resolution 22-1, official entities for the 2021-2022 school year. There should be that same form we fill out, our committees are on. Official entities are start on the front page. How far does that go?
Down to the budget committees.
May I speak,
Yep.
Josh?
Yep.
Just
Please.
a couple things in my realm. The board committees with the changes will then be on the official entities. You'll notice, with your approval, I would like to take off the lunch prices for the student, or change the lunch prices for the students and the breakfast prices for the students. It is looking like we'll be having free lunches and breakfasts again for this coming school year. I'm currently working on that application, but from what I'm hearing, it's just we have to turn in the application and it'll get approved, as long as I check the boxes and cross my T's and dot my I's. So, under this section, what I would like to have listed, if it's okay with you, is lunch prices as adult visitor $3.85, and then K through 12 students free.
What happens if that doesn't come through though? If we have it listed in case, so.
No, we'd have to we've had, it had to be changed in the past, and you would just motion to change that part of the official entity, yeah. I highly doubt that would happen, but we would just change that specific part. And then for the breakfast ticket prices, adult visitor would be $2.25, and then students K through 12 free. There is a potential that we might have to change the adult visitor prices. The feds haven't released the calculator on how we calculate that yet, so I have been unable to calculate how much we have to, by the National School Lunch Program, charge for visitor and prices. So we might have to change that anyways, so. I don't think we will because we charge enough, but there is the potential, cause, who knows. That's all I have.
And then I have, on the truant officer, I'm requesting that it be changed from the board chairman to myself, due to if there's a truant case that does go to court, it would need a representative that can explain, all the steps taken to, encourage the student to come to school and the parent to comply. Should it become a due process situation, chairman would have to be excused, from the situation. So I do have experience of going to court for truancy, and that's why I'm making this request for myself, to be on that. Any questions? All right.
I make a motion that,
Or just consensus or?
No, you have to
vote on this.
That will, why was that ever probably established that way, just that, you know, why would it have been board chair, would there have been some, I'm just curious if there's some reflection of why you wouldn't want the superintendent, you know what I mean, like,
It was that way ever since I got here.
so no real.
Yeah.
And what we did when there was a truant, I would write, for instance, I would write a letter, and then I'd just give it to the board chairman, and he would sign the
Oh.
letter and send it off.
Okay, I was just kinda curious if there was some counter.
And we've never had any court cases, so.
It was just interesting because when I went to Dupree, I was the truant officer, and then I went to Western Springs, I was truancy officer, and then I come here and I was like, wow, they have a chairman. I mean, no offense to
No,
Mr. Geigel,
just
I'm
a
sure
thing
you do
off
an
the-
excellent job, but, I
Yeah,
think it might be
that's
best.
how we explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
one question that I almost forgot. Where it says designated $3,500 for custodial fund, what is that?
That's when, like, I write checks out of the trust and agency, what's it, I'm having a brain fart.
Contingency.
No.
Okay, so we get
So like, and then you have to approve to pay it back. Oh,
Yeah.
why am I having?
Gotcha, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
That's the
That's
30,
good.
there's months that I get close, when, especially when it's
basketball
season.
referees.
Oh, yes, impressed.
Yeah.
One moment.
I knew what you meant.
But that 35 gives me the authorization, 3,500 to write checks without board approval, but then we always have to have you guys approve to pay that back.
I'd make a motion that we approve the official entities with the suggested changes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in
I have-
oh, go ahead,
I
sorry.
just have a question. Chain of command, superintendent K through 5 and then business manager, you know, we have a change coming on here too, should that be,
Oh, good catch.
I don't know.
Should we put building principal, is that what I've seen in other documents?
Well, so we only had one principal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it used to be the superintendent, high school principal, and then the elementary principal, and then for the business manager, but whatever you guys decide is what you, when I first came, when we had 3 administrators, that's how it was.
Good catch, Tommy.
So whatever you
What
guys
is he
decide,
doing here?
Tracy.
What's that?
August first.
So it's up to you guys how you wanna do, and it's basically when,
Well, we fall in line with your district policy.
So it's essentially when the superintendent's gone and.
when
high
then
school-
somebody needs to take charge, and like if
Yep.
we have to call school or
Right.
something fun like that.
So we should stick high school principal in there and then
Can we put the high school principal after the elementary principal, because the
Right.
elementary principal is more experienced?
Yeah, okay.
Up to you guys.
Do you want that responsibility?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me how we do it.
No,
But
that
it needs
makes
to be-
sense
it
though.
needs to be added,
Yeah,
yeah.
so let's just,
But
should we
what
add
order,
them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And we do this every year, so if we want, if the administration feels that
Right, we'll
order
change
should
this
be
in order,
switched, we can change it next
but I
year,
think I
right?
agree, superintendent, and K-5 and then 6-12. And I don't even know, do you go to 4? Or do you get 3? I don't know. The business
business
manager,
manager, yeah.
so.
Never know.
This man's always been in the line somewhere.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah, but that was
good
my
catch.
opinion.
So is that, a friendly amendment to your motion, you mean? Or how do you wanna?
There isn't any more of those on there, that's just what happened, this is.
Amend my motion to include the changes to the chain.
Second.
All right, any other discussion or points of interest? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 8, appoint business manager board member to the health insurance board. So is that just you, or do we have a second person also?
And Carolyn's always been a
Done
part
in
of
the
that.
past. Still good with that, Carol? Need a motion? Okay,
I'll make a motion that we approve the business manager and Carolyn.
is there a second?
One second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item 9, approve Associated School Boards of South Dakota membership.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
How much do we pay for that?
$1,015.49. That's just the membership for the school district.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 10, approve National Association of Federal Impacted School membership. Assuming that has to do with impact aid.
Yep, that is the national, group for impact rate. They're the ones that organize the, meetings in the fall and spring. They're huge as far as lobbying and making sure that school districts that are part of their membership get impact aid funds.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 11, approve Impact Schools of South Dakota membership.
This is the South Dakota group for essentially the same thing, for, impact aid schools.
I so moved to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 13, live ticket and huddle update, Lex Hedishaw.
Thanks, guys. I mentioned a little bit about Huddle at the last meeting, and I'm hearing some things about Live Ticket. I never knew there was a cost for Live Ticket. There's still not really a cost. We actually get money from Live Ticket, so I don't know if that was a misinterpretation in the past or how that worked, but
It was your upfront cost.
Mine,
The
it was like
cameras.
$4,800 or something, but we never paid it, did we?
Mm,
No, I think it's
no.
more than that, because what it did was we paid for the cameras, and then
Yep.
they said over time it would cover it because you got money back from.
So I'm glad that you actually mentioned that, because I'll need to do some more digging now on Live Ticket just to see if there's gonna have to be some upfront cost. and I'll make sure that there's not. Moral of the story on Live Ticket is, especially in, you know, what happened last year with COVID and the pandemic and everything like that, Live Ticket presents an awesome opportunity for everyone to be able to view any of our games that are recorded and view them live. Just an awesome example of that. I think we had the record on Live Ticket for a while at our Castlewood football game the year we beat them, and there was 5,000 IP addresses on our Live Ticket, and that's an IP address. So most people are watching the game with family, so you're looking at 10,000 people probably watching our football game through Live Ticket. So pretty cool deal to have family, friends, community watching it through Live Ticket. And now, from what I understand, we have some pretty good sponsorships that he's making money on right now, Live Ticket. Great guy, is very helpful with us. Jody is his name. So I've been working with him a little bit. So we'll get some money back, and then that leads us into our huddle discussion. And up there on the board, I think you can see that. So Huddle's mission is just to help teams out, help athletes win, help them get recruited, record, review, and share. And you can go down to the next one. These first ones go pretty quick here, Pandy. So connect with the athletes, empower them, and then we'll get education and support from Huddle. So they can, if I have a question, I call in, they're right there at the snap of a finger. They can help me sort things out. They can help me edit the film. They can help me do anything that needs to happen through Huddle. Stay on that one up there just a little bit longer. So our current, right now, this last year we paid $4,000. We only had 4 programs that were using Huddle. Our plan would be to use Huddle for all sports if we can. I know our track program would really like to use it. Golf would be a huge benefit as well. It could go into gymnastics. Every sport has a ton of benefits to be able to have the kids watch themselves, whether it's at practice or at a live performance. So when those, and then it kind of shows you the next things, but we can talk more about that later. The next page is just about storage and how much storage we're using. So you can see that we use the heck out of it. Every program, boys basketball was like way over what they were supposed to be. They had like 160 hours, but you get 100 hours of film that you can hold on to that. So like right now I actually have film from the first year I coached. So I can go back and see if that head coach has the same tendencies from 4 years ago as he does today. So it's a huge advantage for our kids, just a competitive edge that way with storage usage.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yep.
So right now you've got football, basketball, and volleyball on there.
Yep.
And it's and we spent $4,000. So with every sport, I assume it goes up because you get 100, or is it just?
Yes. So each sport, back when it first started, I think your initial sport was $800, and then it was an additional $400 after that. And so that's where you get to your, I think it was 2,000 at the time. And then we added on, this past year is the first year we've paid this much, because we added on what they call assist. And I'll get to that here on the next couple pages. What they're promoting on this next page is just what each school does, what they've learned. There's billing issues, so when you do a full school package, it's just one invoice. It helps out the accounting process. Every team can do it, and actually not even just teams. What's being recorded live right now could actually have its own Huddle account, and those could be logged in if you guys ever wanted to have your own Huddle account. And then you could go back to this day 5 years from now and say, here was this meeting, what did we miss? If there was ever a misinterpretation of something, it would be, if it's going to be recorded, you could go back and look at that. So actually the accounts that you have with the full school package, which is where we're moving to, are unlimited. You could have a band account, and if you want to listen, throw that in there. The drama department could have an account, and it kind of, it's just perfect kind of for a lot of reasons there with that. Video quality issues, with the full school package, they help you break down some of the things that I would struggle with myself. They have a person help you do that. So the next page just shows you kind of everything Huddle does. Breaks down games. You can create highlights, and what that does is help kids get recruited. I actually just went to the SJSU football team camp, took 25 kids down there. Coach Stiglmeyer presented to the seniors, and one of the things he talked about with the seniors is he said the best way to get recruited, how he recruits kids, is through Huddle. And he said every college program in the country does that. Kids create a highlight video, they email it to Coach Stig, and he watches that film and decides if they're worthy of being recruited or not. So for our kids, this is where it's at. Almost every college program in the country has Huddle. I can send a film to them for recruiting or anything we want to do there.
Can I ask you a question, Vic?
Yep.
Where's this record live stream?
Yep.
We wouldn't even have to have live ticket, would we then?
They're partnering with Live Ticket. If we live stream, I don't know how all that works yet.
I just thought I see that.
But they're not gonna give us like money for live stream. So where the benefit comes in is we get money from Live Ticket to pay for the full school package, is kind of the hopes there. I don't know all about their live stream yet. And there is a short video too we could just watch on it that makes it simpler. So I'll try to go quick and we can touch on a couple of those video things. You can keep going. Keep going. Right there. So I submit my game. What assist is now, you submit your game to them, they break it down for you, and it's back to me within 24 hours. So for instance, in football, we're playing Phillip, and I have the film of Phillip and Kadoka. I send that into Huddle. They break it down, and it can tell me Phillip's quarterback throws it to the right half of the field 30% of the time. On first down, they run it 80% of the time. On second down, they pass. So it's coaching-wise, it's really big for us too. So that's what assist is. You can go down to the next one.
You kind of talked about this at the last meeting, how it does stats.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that you've used this as stats.
I have not yet. Coach Hess and Coach Dinger, both our boys and girls basketball teams, and Madison uses it a ton. And they love it. They could talk to you more about that.
Did they ever go back and look at that?
After what?
Accuracy-wise, like how accurate?
Pretty close. More accurate than what most of our managers get.
Well, that's what I wanted.
So like, yeah, I mean, it's because they have people that are hired specifically to go through and do that. Yeah.
That's what I wondered, if it was just a technology thing.
It's a lot better for basketball than it is for football, the stat-wise, because stats are easier in basketball because you don't have to look at the yard lines like you do in football. So basketball stats are really good with their accuracy. Football has some awesome things to offer too. You can create digital playbooks. My kids have a tough time learning plays. So what you can do with this digital playbook with the full school package we get is I put up that play. You can kind of see that play there. Doesn't mean anything to us right now, but then I can actually attach a video image to that play, and the kid can get it like on a whiteboard, right, as you see there, and then my video would be attached underneath of that. Like he can say, oh, that's right, in the second quarter I ran this play, and it's right there for him. And so he can go back and look at that and say, yep, that's that play, I understand it, I see it, and I get to watch it, and watch myself do it and see if I did it right. So the playbook thing's really cool too. Those are the new cameras, what they look like. We'll have one indoor and one outdoor. This is what's cool too. I got to work with Ms. Trask on this, but there's an app right now you can actually have on your phone. I supposedly just be able to set the time after we get some networking things figured out, but you can just set up your time and it's supposed to go off automatically. Is kind of the basis of that right there. And they have a support team with you to do anything you need to help them out. And I think there's only a couple left. Those are a couple examples of some film. You don't need to click on that one if you don't want. Talks about the app, the Focus app. That's just setting your your games. Like if we have a middle school game, I can go set that time and it would broadcast into, and then you can see live ticket right down there, broadcasting and live streaming. They are networking now with live ticket. I thought that's how it was. That was the question you guys asked earlier. How do they live stream? I think it's just through live ticket. I think they're like, they partner now, is I think how that is working.
So as far as the public goes, this isn't
Yep.
available for the public if it isn't on live stream. It's only available to students and coaches.
Anybody that I give an email account to, or anybody that the coach would give an email account to, would have access to that specific sport. So like me as the administrator, I have access to every single sports team as the athletic director. But like Coach Hess doesn't have the same access to my football team as he does his basketball team. So he can't go in and change things or manipulate things. Or
So when you say like other teams are using this and then we can get their video from them,
Yep.
that probably has to come through a request from us, or does
Yeah,
that-
so all I do is, it's literally a click of a button, and I type in a message. So let's say we play Gregory week 1 in football this year. I already have 2 films on them because I sent a request through Huddle, and I said, can I get your Gregory Platte-Geddes film from last year? I contacted the Platte-Geddes coach through this system, and within, as long as he looks at it, he just clicks the button, sends me his film, and now I can, once I click a button to get it to the kids, now those kids are gonna have access to the Platte-Geddes Gregory film, and they can watch it as much as they want. Not that the kids shouldn't be doing homework during the night, but they have any opportunity to do it, to watch film anywhere they want in the palm of their hand.
I know for football, Bryson was on that quite a bit. So.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is I can see how many hours each kid watches. So like if a kid logs on and watches 2 seconds of it, it tells me he watched 2 seconds of it. If he watched 3 hours, it tells me he watched 3 hours. So when I tell my kids to go home and watch film, and they say, yeah, I watched film, and they pull it up and they didn't watch film, then I know. So each coach is going to know how invested his team member is to that team by how much film they watch too. So I think, did you send the email out or forward it?
Yeah, I sent this out to you.
So when you guys look at this email, I'm not going to waste your time on watching the video because it's like 10 minutes long. Kind of goes through what I just talked about, but it's the guy describing things. But it's similar to what I just talked about. So I don't think we need to click that link, Pandy. You can click this one real quick and show them. This is through the focus camera that we'll be putting up. Ours will look similar to this. Looks like they have the same field, kind of like ours as well. So I think it should play. Smaller there, but.
So this,
And so it tracks on its own. The issues are in basketball when there's a technical foul, because almost everybody walks the half court, and you get one guy that goes to the free throw line. It follows everybody, and then you don't get to see the free throws. So they're working on some of those types of issues.
so this camera would probably be on the Nats or Eagles.
Yeah, you can be done with that. It would be up on at the very top where that chain link fence is. It'd be right underneath that chain link fence, and then it just automatically goes through with it. I'm done. Yeah, I think that other things later that I have to talk about, right? Questions on Huddle or Live Ticket?
So if you add, like you said, if you add them, what does that cost, Max? Like if you
Add all that stuff. So the full school package, what we're doing right now, is $8,000. You have an option to go to $8,700. It gives you a couple more options.
8,000 is not $4,000.
Currently is $4,000, but we've pretty much already like agreed, and that's where the confusion came in, because I thought the money was supposed to already be here. This is what Amy and I talked about. So there's
The money from live ticket, you mean?
See,
yes.
In the past, we haven't paid for live ticket.
So how much is it?
We don't pay for
Now
live
it's
ticket either.
8,000?
$8,000 total.
Because
is what we'll
we
pay.
have more sports or?
Yes. So each sport is gonna cost 800, or the first one's 800, and I think those prices have raised, so I think it's like 900.
Are you talking
The
about-
values are all in there.
Huddle is 8,000.
Huddle is 8,000. Live ticket is 0. They're giving us money.
Yeah, I just
So,
asked
yeah.
about Huddle.
Yes,
That
Huddle in
each
general is
you add-
$8,000 that we will have to pay this year. But we get 2,000 from our booster club, so it's 6,000.
And that will cover every sport.
Every sport, booster club can have one, the school board can have one, drama club can have one.
What would Sam do?
That covers, well, she would still have to record it.
Oh.
So do we know how much we're getting from live ticket or not?
He is estimating right now around 6,000. But, Elaine brought up a good question. I don't know if we may end up having to pay some upfront cost. So, that's why I requested 2,000 from the booster club, right? 2,000 from boosters, 6,000 from live ticket, gets you to 8,000. But if there's some camera cost,
Well, that's
I
why
need to
I'm
find that out.
wondering, because Randy bought 2 really expensive cameras, and we used the grant money that we got from Golden West. Anybody else remember this? And then it came in and said they didn't work, and he was supposed to return them and buy cameras that would work.
okay.
Mr. Poles, Randall.
I didn't see them in the inventory, I'll look again.
I will find out.
They were just, I know that we used the grant money from Golden West, and he was supposed to have returned them and got cameras that would work with,
Compatible.
yes, compatible.
With live, okay.
How long ago?
Probably 3, it was,
Cooper was still here. Cooper was still here.
Yeah, I think it was my first year here actually, because I kind of vaguely remember Randall's camera issues.
yeah.
Because he gave me a camera and it was like
it didn't
not
work.
good quality at all.
No.
So then we ended up using Mr. Irvish's wife's camera to upload into Huddle.
Yeah, these were supposed to be like top of the line cameras, and then he said, well, I got them and they didn't work, they don't focus right or something.
I think that they're having trouble getting it hooked up to YouTube and to the cable channel that we have. That was the issue that, I didn't know if it was I don't remember if it was the camera or if
That
it
was that wall channel.
It was the focus on the camera, he said he couldn't get it to focus.
But I didn't remember if it was the camera or if it was the box that the camera plugged into to move it over.
Yep.
I remember him coming to the meeting and he said it was a camera, and we were like, well, then send it back and get one that works.
So anyway, that's an awesome program. The hope on the whole thing is that it doesn't cost the school much money. We may end up paying some cost. I know there's some schools out there right now using some COVID money as well to cover live ticket costs, if there are any. So I would talk with Amy about that obviously before any of that happens. And I don't want to bring up that discussion now. I know you guys have a lot to get through, so but I do know that other schools have used funding for that because it's a live stream opportunity, so you don't have people that wouldn't have to attend.
Thank you.
So Lex, we'd have football, basketball, for the same cost there, basically?
It would be your 8,000.
Okay.
Would cover everything.
Okay.
Yep. There would be no additional after the 8,000. The 8,000 is what they call the full school package.
Think golf, track.
Unlimited.
We're clear there, yeah.
Yep.
Except you're gonna have to have a camera everywhere.
Well, yes, somebody would film it, but like at practice, for instance, Chad can go on his phone and he can film kid A swinging, tap his phone, goes to Huddle, that kid can watch it. So, but if you wanted, golf would be tough at a live tournament because you'd have to like follow kids around. So golf, the benefit would be practice. Because when they're on the driving range, you could set up your iPad down the driving range and it would be watching all those kids swing. And then you could upload that into Huddle and the kids could go back and watch that. iPads are super slick to upload it. It's like a click of a button to just upload it and all the kids can see it. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, item 14, approve surplus items for disposal. See provided list.
I was sent with your board.
I would move to approve the
opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I should ask this, where'd the microwaves come from?
Teacher's lounge.
The teacher's lounge. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Stop asking.
Item 15, open reserve parking sealed bids.
Are we happy they did it last year?
Ken, how do you look? Terry Moore, looks like 404.
Oh, thanks, I can do it.
Okay, Bielmeyer, Jana, I think, she wants $328.99. Chad and Alicia is 56788. 567.
Yeah. No strategy.
Higher than much inflation.
Monin,
I wasn't sure. Last year I was.
okay, 279.
Gotta get a men's
No,
spot.
no kids.
We still make them pay even if we run on a spot,
This is
right?
a dumb one.
And Chris and Amy, 325.
Oh, well, so he doesn't have to take it out.
Brett Paul, please, it's 407.
Just make sure we got.
Grant's Electric. Grant's Electric has 402. Patty Kerstead, $1,000. Melanie Scholl, 304. Bobby Dart, 402. Okay, Fall Building Center must be Lisa here, it's 56789.
Yeah.
They all three want a third group for one city.
There you go.
Probably a 5, 6, 7.
Norman Geigel, 551. Dennis and Sarah Sharp, 305. Kerstead Livestock, 557. Gwen Davis, 400. Conrad and Callie, 323. Mandy McDonald is 540. Ken's, let's see, Natalie Hanson is 1,030. Lex and Kendra, $200.
Coach is the low ball. The low ball.
Poor Kendra.
I know, right?
I saw her out walking.
Worst case scenario, she'll
Orange
probably sit in the
here,
pickup that parks by the shed. so.
575.
You need to with little kids, those cold nights.
Kim and Mike Carlbaum, 220.
Yeah.
Annie Joe Spotted Bear, $300. Marv Boats, 177.
No, you're off the hook.
Oh. I just need to know how many total there were and then we're
Yeah, how many was there?
I think there's 37 and there's 35 spots, if I counted correctly.
It's gonna be close.
Rhonda Williams, 516.
I think that you're on that one, somebody dropped out, and you get one when somebody dropped out, I'm like, oh, get in that spot.
Christy Guptill, 279. Brett and Christy. And Scott and Sue Krails, 425. 425. Charlene Kerstead is 411. Bertie Schultz is 300. Brennan and Lori Kerstead is 353. Tanner and Kim Hancock, 601. Pat Paulson.
Just a minute.
Sorry. Is 100. Mary Williams, or Williams Ranch is 505.5. Okay, Wilmarth, 351. Ron Dinger is $500.01. Terry McDonald, 250. Amy and Jason Paulson, 111. And Chris and Mallory Teagan, 279.
279?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that 37?
Yep. So the only tie we had would be Bobby Dart. And another, and
279.
My family died 279.
Right.
270, oh, okay.
War.
No, we didn't, just that we can. It don't matter who's in the.
Oh, so
Right.
I don't.
You just want to sit by each other, or have parking lots
Possibly.
next to each other.
Let go of my paper.
Okay, so. Yes, we have the
If we can get
402
stopped.
and the 279. Or wait. There's a three-way tie for 279.
Yeah, it's my crew.
Oh, Guptals,
Again.
Tegan, and Mona. Okay, so who wants to draw? This is for 402.
I think you're supposed to close your eyes when you draw.
Rent electric.
Okay, oh, that's already in one. Okay, and then for the 279, we need to.
You want to draw, Tommy, or?
I don't think I meant, we just picked. I mean, most
Okay.
guys want to, doesn't matter, we did that on purpose, so.
Oh.
None of us cared where we
Okay,
were.
if you guys are cool with that.
Just as long as they're together.
Alphabetical order.
Duke it out.
Okay,
Let's
so,
discuss it over at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Completely opposite ends.
so,
Yeah.
you guys wanna know the total?
Sure.
It's gotta be way bigger than last year.
Last year we had open spots,
Okay, that's last year. Just trying to think.
just because, $14,936.27.
And Amy, we had a question, what fund does that money go into?
General fund.
General, okay.
At one point, they talked about putting that money towards, like, if the girls and boys go to the state tournament, paying for a charter bus, yeah.
Which would also come out of general fund anyways.
So there's 37 and there's 35 spots.
Correct. So Pat Paulson and, Jason and Amy Paulson. Okay. Cool. That's it.
Sounds like we have some extra money for huddle.
Mike's like, I know where we can.
I know where we can get some money.
Okay, great idea.
Maybe if you
Okay,
did
that's all we
more.
have to do with that.
Right?
And then what happens is then,
Would the prices be really
Me too,
expensive?
I
compared to
contact
last
them
year, but
and
if it was.
Jennifer Cashins helps me, and then we are going to be choosing the spots. I believe it's July 28th, but I'll let them know when I call them.
Okay. Item 16, wrestling practice room discussion. Thanks.
All right, I'll try to make this quick for you guys. Wrestling practice room, you guys know we hired some coaches. We'd like to get some practices over here at Wall. What I would propose is that we use the cardio room for a practice facility for wrestling. We have one mat right now, currently searching for more mats that we can use to piece into the cardio room. The big question I have for you guys tonight to think about, we do have some months here in the next couple months to think about this, but there's a little ticket window storage that's in there. It's a little odd corner in there. I'd like to just knock that out. Makes the room square. And then I met with all the coaches and myself over at the cardio room, and we were actually curious too if that old lunchroom could maybe be knocked down as well. The tough part with that is there is current custodial storage in there, and there's also a bunch of networking cables in there that Ms. Trask would love to see, but we wouldn't have to tear down that part. I think we could leave that there. It would just open up like another, basically it'd be another section to have enough for 2 wrestlers wrestling.
Into the kitchen part?
Yes.
I know for a fact when we went and looked before that we didn't think that room was structurally, yeah, I'm just telling you.
Okay, yep, and
I'm
that's
just
fine.
telling, not for, it had nothing to do with wrestling, I'm saying when we went into that.
There's
we went into
some
that.
stuff falling.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, cause then we'll get into costs that we've already
Yep.
decided we didn't want, unless, you know, I just,
Yeah. One thing I know too, and this probably doesn't work this way in the school system, maybe we have to hire it out, but I know that the wrestling coaches and myself said as long as it wasn't, you know, like the ticket window spot, like that's a small enough job, I think that we could probably get that done without charging anybody to knock that out.
sure it's not like a structural beam in there or something.
That's what I mean. As long as we just have to make sure it's not structural, and then we can get it knocked out. So I just want you guys to keep thinking about that. I basically need your approval to use that room. We don't need to talk about the, you know, taking out the ticket thing or anything. I would just like approval from you guys to use the cardio room. There is room to put the treadmills in the weight room. And maybe a couple ellipticals and some stuff like that. But we may end up having some surplus items that we don't have room for unless we put some of those up on the stage. But then that cuts into the drama room space.
How many
as well.
wrestlers are you looking at being in there?
Total? I think Wall has 7 or 8. But if we get practice over here, maybe more. And then Philip, I think, has like 10. And Kadoka's got 1 or 2, I think. So that's 7, like 20.
So you're only talking high school, you're not talking,
That'd be middle school too, 7 through 12.
okay.
You'd end up with probably more than that though.
Yeah,
I think,
that's what I was
with
thinking.
some middle school kids.
I think if we get practice over here, I think some more kids are going to be interested. I'm not sure. I think that's the goal though, to promote our wrestling program. And I think that's where we start, is the cardio room, and see where it goes. The Phillip coaches seem to be okay with coming over here 1 day a week for sure. And then when we had tournaments that were west of us, we would practice, like a lot of times they'll practice here on Friday before, or they'll go to Phillip on a Friday tournament. So we'd have to drive to Phillip and then come right back past Wall. Well, those days we'd be in Wall as well, if we have a facility.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I don't know if we need to, if we need to approve it. I just want to be able to tell Phillip, like, yes, like we can use that room.
I guess.
I think it'll be better utilized than when it's
And then, oh, and our AAU program would obviously be able to use it too. And not have to worry about the community center either. Because we would just leave those mats down.
And so they'll just access the weight room, the public would, for cardio and weights, that's where they'd be.
Yes, there'd be no reason for them to go into
Yeah.
the wrestling room. I guess, unless they were doing some yoga maybe, I don't know.
I'm okay with it. Just know that the other part, we're not sure yet, we'd have to look.
Yeah, and those are bigger questions that, for probably the Buildings and Grounds Committee, but.
Do we want a motion or just general consensus?
I think we should make a motion, just because, you know, this is all new.
Be on record that way.
I'd move to allow the wrestling to take place in the cardio room.
I'll second that.
Any discussion, further question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lex. Item 17, summer basketball reimbursement. This, I believe, is what Ryan talked about last month.
And we went back and watched the recording of the school board meeting. We couldn't tell if your motion got rescinded or tabled, so we put it on the agenda.
I think Ryan asked for it to be put on this.
I think it did too. We just
Okay.
rescinded the motion. I don't know if we rescinded or
You
tabled
did
it.
both.
We did both?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was
So
like-
here we are.
And we have to explain because there are
Right.
people that
So
wasn't present, so they don't really.
there was a summer basketball committee, and they paid officials.
They were.
Or they would like to pay some officials that actually, they came and officiated the games. Maybe you could probably do a better job with this than me. The total's like, what was it?
$480.
$80?
It's never been done in the past, but, there is funds left in that line item for the FY '21 budget
For officiating.
for officiating.
I think the big thing is that this is a new program, Ryan's just taking it over, and I think that, I think Patty, I don't know, you can talk to him, but the way it sounded, we didn't know that we were gonna do this. And, well, for me, I believe, because it's a new program and we have a new coach doing new things, it was something that came up unexpectedly.
I think he wants to pay them. However, they spent all the money in their P&A fund, and that's where they're running into trouble. My feeling is, and this is just from my own personal perspective, this is outside of the school, and if we want our taxpayer dollars to go to this, then you go raise the money and you get it on your own. It's, you know, over the years, gymnastics and wrestling has had to raise their own money for camps and those types of things, and they paid their own way. And I think we should require our basketball kids to take some responsibility and show that they appreciate their refs being there to provide a service for them.
My question would be, cause I mean, I'm indifferent really at the, cause I, wasn't the last thing, but, what kind of precedent, I guess, are we setting for football, gymnastics? That would be my only question. Or do we say this is one thing we do, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything seems like we do is a precedent. So, I mean, not, like I said, I'm not opposed to, it's just a matter of, here we go,
That's where I would agree with both of these ladies, is that if you're going to do this, approve this, I would somewhere state that this is a one-time deal to help a program, otherwise don't touch it. That's all I got.
So there is some, we do have some funds left over,
From the officiating line item in the budget, there's funds left.
But just so you know, Rich, that's not part of.
It's not
Right.
It's not part of the.
That's for like, sanctioned basketball games.
Just so you know, I mean, it's
football.
not actually even part
Well,
of.
it sounds like
this,
it was a volunteer basis and now they wanna pay them. Is that
Yeah,
what we're getting at?
it normally we would request that the request would be made before the event and then get approval and then make payment. This is also a backward situation in how it's handled.
I also
And I'm
feel
gonna
like this
actually,
is,
we actually don't have. If I go strictly boys basketball, I mean, we're way underspent total. But I was just looking at boys basketball specifically, for professional services, we're actually overspent by $58.
By 58.
and to me, when you do a league, that's no different than club. So if you go do club volleyball, or if you go do club wrestling, I mean, so you have middle school kids that do club football, are we gonna start paying their league for refs too?
Do they have any in their TNA account?
I don't have that prepared, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
They're one of the lowest, balances though.
I think Ryan said last meeting he would've, but they don't have the funds in there.
I see.
They already got it done, so
I haven't written any checks.
next year maybe try to raise some money and make it right. I think it would set a bad precedent.
I would agree.
Okay, do you wanna put that in a form of a motion then?
I make a motion that we do not pay for, summer basketball league refs.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Item 18, elementary principal report. Chuck?
The handbooks, did you guys get a copy of the 612 handbook?
I don't think so.
Well, that needs, we have to wait for Tracy to come anyway, so that he can talk about it, and then what will come up too is, I will probably, if there are any changes in the 612, I'll make sure it's consistent with the K-5 and with the big white handbooks too, so. But, are there any questions on the big white handbook or the, K-5 handbook? Okay, and then how about the, middle school Title I or the elementary Title I handbooks? And I'll send these out again to you guys so that you guys can look
Changes in any of them.
Just, the Title I handbooks are just basically the dates we have conferences and when report cards come out. Those are the only changes that I have in the Title I handbooks.
When you're talking about handbooks, I just kinda wanna reiterate, we all talked about some changes, maybe looking into some policies and some of these handbook things later. I mean, I'm just saying, I really do think we need to set some, dates, whether it's in 2 months or to start going through some of those, policies and things.
So the policy or just?
We were talking about, the different, what was it, like 3 months ago, we talked about revisiting some of the things that haven't been looked at for a long time.
In the handbooks?
And I think there was a couple things in the handbooks that were brought up and just kind of a.
It's district policy or?
Pretty much a whole lot of different things just to kind of comb through some things. And I'm guessing we probably have changed some things now that the other principals coming in this and where he fits in, just like on that one sheet.
Yeah.
So it was just, don't want it to get lost.
Yeah, and we want Tracy to be in and give us the input after he reads through it, says, well, we don't need this, and this would be better if we did this, or that kind of thing. And then once we go through all that, then we will, make my handbooks, more consistent with the other, because we don't want the elementary doing something that the high school can't, and that kind of stuff.
Paying lunch fees, and the other one doesn't.
So, and I think, I'm hoping that we can get those out, before the Friday prior to the next board meeting, so that you have more than a weekend to look through all that, because that's a lot of reading.
It's pretty light though.
Okay.
It's pretty light.
Yeah, and then also, I am planning to go to the, joint convention in Sioux Falls with, Andy and Tracy. Something that I did every year except for one year my wife had something going on and I had to stay home and be a dad. And then,
What a drag.
and then the other time was last year when we had the, COVID, we didn't have it in Sioux Falls, it was online, so. That's all I have. You guys have any questions about anything else? And I'm waiting for one more parent to talk to me about summer school, and really, I've got the schedule pretty much done. I'll send out letters tomorrow, and that starts the first Monday in August.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. Item 19, business manager report.
The only thing I have is I would like to request a budget committee meeting. If you guys wouldn't mind looking at your schedules for the week of August 16th. If there's a particular date, time that works better for you.
August 16th.
Yeah. And then that way we would have, that would solidify the budget, the final budget, and then that would be approved at the September board.
Do you have a preference, Amy?
I'm completely open that week, so whatever works best for you guys.
The 19th, not that for me.
Do you guys prefer?
Yeah, I know I'm out on that one too. I can't do the 19th.
What about the 16th, just Monday morning, or Monday, whatever,
It's
I got to be
fine.
more in, but just get it out of there.
What time?
Does that work?
Yeah, we're both open that week.
I don't know.
Morning, afternoon, evening, what's best for you, I can make any time.
Probably matters more to you guys than it does to me.
I'm flexible.
5:30 in the morning.
Well, not that one.
I don't know.
She's bringing the guys.
Just throwing it out there.
So would you like, over noon hour type meeting, or would you like an evening meeting, or?
I only get a half an hour for me, so I don't know how it can be.
Oh, good lord.
Probably won't be that quick.
Yeah.
So
About
it doesn't really
5:30?
matter.
5:30? Okay.
Thanks, guys, and then that'll give me time to finalize it and send it out to the board a couple weeks ahead of time, for you guys to comb through it to make sure you know the ins and outs of it. That's all I have.
Wow. Feeling okay?
Oh, I kinda monopolized the beginning, so.
I was gonna say, it's yours, no?
She likes to break hers now, so it doesn't add up.
Okay, item 20, superintendent report.
Okay, I emailed you the technology integration expectations. This is something that we're gonna work on this year, Mrs. Trask, Mrs. Bissett, and Mr. Sikora. We all met and we just sat down and we all wanted to have some consistency among staff as far as the use of technology into the classroom. And we listed out some things that we felt were not out of line expectations, and actually some of the teachers have already are already doing this. But these expectations are important so that students know what to expect from classroom to classroom, but also when parents are involved, and especially if they have multi-grade level students, that they understand the expectation of the second grader and the expectation of the 10th grader are close to the same. And so with that, we want our plan book software to be used for lesson plans and made available on the school webpage. We need the current attendance each day, especially at the beginning of the day. Missing work to be identified as an M on the campus. This M placed signifies a missing assignment, and it will also drop the grade to show what would be if it was a 0, but it's not a 0. And then turned in work but not graded in the campus. This is it will just show the T, and it will not deduct from the overall grade, but it will show that the student has turned it in. The teacher has not graded it yet.
That M and the T is really basically put in for the student, so that the student knows that he or she has turned it in, or she knows that it's missing. And it's also for parents, because they can set up on their app that if a M gets put in, you get a, like if, you know, somebody puts an M for your daughter's or your son's grade, it'll ding, and then the parent knows too that it's missing, and then that gives us an extra eyes and reinforcement for students, so they can know. Sorry.
No, that's fine. But, you know, it's just important to have that consistency, especially some of you that have that are parents of multi-grade level kids. You go on the campus and you will see all your children. We want to see some consistency between how teachers are using that campus for the parent benefit. Also, the continued use of the ICU Google document. This is a document we used when I was a teacher, and it just makes the availability of study hall teachers or just other classroom teachers, that if there's missing work and a student says, I'm all done with everything, you can pull up that document and see if that's what's going on. So we would like that consistently used among staff. And also we want to use a technology-based classroom platform. We're looking at grades 3 through 5 using Google Classroom. And
I don't mean to interrupt you, but that one kind of concerns me, and I wonder how for 3 through 5th, I just wonder, you know, 5th probably they're getting ready to go into 6th grade, and I understand that, but 3rd and 4th grade seems young to me to have them sitting in front of the computer having their I just think maybe it's over the top, but I'm interested to know what their teachers thought.
It's not a regular, they're not gonna do it every day. You know, the way we did it, or what we're supposed to do in last year was maybe do one activity a week onto Google Classroom, so that if we did get shut down, the kids would have some experience with it. It wasn't a total full thing.
That's what I
with that,
wanted to
no.
ask, if everything they do was like all their documents and everything, if they were gonna try to do that with the third, fourth, and fifth, I thought.
Not everything is done all the time in Google Classroom for the elementary.
And it might be just that way they access like a math refresher type, technology. Okay. And then our grades 6 through 12, we decided on a choice between Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, or One Classroom. And Microsoft Teams is something that we discussed. It's a more complicated platform to use. Even a little bit more strenuous than Blackboard Learn that I used when I taught, but it is something that the business industry is using, and so therefore we would like our upperclassmen to be exposed to it in some way. And then the sixth part was an online presence on the school webpage, was an expectation that we would like of all staff, so that when you visit your school website, you can see what's going on in the classroom. So, any further questions on that?
When you say online presence on the school webpage, you're talking about just the school as a whole, is that right? Like more, or maybe, yeah.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
An online presence, if you were to go onto the faculty page with all the teachers, if you click on each teacher underneath, it takes you to a link where they have their own section where they are able to, an announcement page. They're not doing their work there, but an announcement page is, hey guys, today we're going to, or something like that. It's, some teachers host all their lesson plans on there, some teachers just put announcements on there, some teachers have links to shoot them out to Google Classroom. It's just a jumping off point for every single parent would know that, man, I don't know what to do here, how to get anywhere. If I go to the website, find that teacher and click on her, then I will find her jumping off place, his jumping off place, and be able to go to the platform that they're using. So it's not a school presence, it is an individual teacher presence, and they use their presence on there in many, many different ways. However they're comfortable, I'll build that, or we'll get it built in a way that suits them. They're all different, but they've developed it themselves.
So how do the teachers feel about this? I mean, your staff, how are they taking it? I mean,
We haven't taken it to the
Oh, you haven't discussed it with them, okay.
Most of them already have it.
Okay.
They just use it to different degrees, and they have, I've gotten wonderful reviews from the teachers from it. You know, and how one teacher just wants specific folder links where kids can put stuff in there. One teacher wants all of her home, the weekly report to go online. One teacher wants an announcement page where she can tell when they have to play in band things. I mean, it's all different, but those teachers, they all know that you can go to the website and find the stuff there.
It's kind of like their own little, however they want to set it up is what you're saying.
These are expectations developed by the administration. We're bringing them to you. We have not taken them to the staff, but we are designing the in-service to support these expectations. But these expectations are to benefit the students from going classroom to classroom, especially in secondary. Consistency is very important, but also to meet the technical needs of students, technical learning. But in addition, to help parents understand as well. If we have classrooms doing various different things, it becomes very difficult. Any other questions? We are working on a weekly administrative meeting. We hope to meet on Wednesdays at 2:30 each week, and that would include Mr. Sokol, or all three of us, Mr. Ragland, right? And last names, and Samra and, Lynn and Chris, and that would hope that, administration can sit down and communicate with one another so we know what's going on in each other's programs, as well as be able to help meet each other's needs and, just be more transparent with one another and work as a unit. Then we can keep up on each other's schedule as far as if Lex needs something or Lex has something that can benefit someone else in the group. I'm just picking on Lex right there, but, he's not here, so I can't. And so, we're looking at Wednesday at 2:30. Also, I'll be attending the Associated School Boards, Joint Convention, as well as the Superintendent Convention next week. Is there any board members that would like to attend the Associated School Boards Conference, August 5th through the 7th?
4th, 5th, and 6th. We go on the 4th, and it's on the 5th and the 6th. Friday, Thursday,
Okay.
Friday.
The 5th and the 6th? Is there anyone of you that would like to attend that conference? It's the Associated School Boards.
I'm sure it'd be beneficial, but that's not a good time for me to.
Yeah, I've attended before in the RBID, but I've asked to change council meetings too many times. I better not do that again.
Well, if you wake up tomorrow morning and you think, yeah, I would like to know more, or I would like to attend, you can contact me here at the school. The starting well plan for the ESSER 3, one of the, requirements there is to have an up-to-date starting well plan. So we have looked at putting together a task force to go through and review last year's plan. And, we've selected, some parents, some staff, as well as administration to come and meet. Hopefully we can make it work on August 3rd at 5 p.m. Is there board members that would like to be a part of that task force to go through the plan? The goal would be to review the plan and then bring it to the board for approval in the August board meeting.
What's the date again?
We're looking at, August 3rd at 5 p.m.
For having a meeting on it?
For having a meeting to go through the plan.
ESSER 3 is COVID money, right?
Correct.
I'll try and make it. Where would you have that?
Here. Carolyn, I mean, you can let me know. I can only allow 3 board members in it, so if you wake up again tomorrow morning and you think, gal, I would like to be on that, please feel free to contact me, okay?
Just don't all sign up at once.
Just don't all sign up at once. If you're board member number 4, I gotta slam the door and
Yeah.
it's okay, just accept that, please. I would also like to have a building committee meeting so that we can discuss, some of these plans, like the wrestling and so forth. Does the week of the 16th of August work for the committee?
Everybody know that committee that, who's on
About
that?
right after the budget,
You wanna do it right after the budget meeting? We can do it at
or
7.
before, whatever, yeah.
Who's on the building committee again? I lost. Okay, you two and Tim, okay. So do we could do it the same day as the budget meeting?
I think that day will work. I don't have my stuff in here, but
What day was that?
Monday, the
16th.
16th? At 5:30 is the budget meeting. Would you like to have it at 4 o'clock, or would you like to have it at 4?
I'd have it at 5:30 in the morning.
Or would you like to have it at 5:30 in the morning?
4 is good.
4 is good. Okay, building
Sweet, good.
meeting at
You gotta
4.
read that one.
Well, it's good for me anyway.
Yeah, no, that'll work.
That
It is.
should work for me. I don't know.
Save the trip
again, I would appreciate it if you went to state emails, but I'm not gonna harp on it any longer. It's a decision up to you. I think, it's a risk management protocol. It's something that the state can help us and monitor should there ever be a liability, so. And also, it would help you to, or it would allow us to set you up the access to other programs within the school, so. That's up to you.
So is that, you just get it and then you have a password, or?
Mrs. Trask is here and she'll set it up with your phone and you'll receive a
You know how I
notification
understand all this stuff,
that you can open up in that email, and all school business will be secluded to that email. This is, something that businesses and schools do, in many various ways to maintain and protect themselves as well as the entity that they're representing.
I think currently I receive it on both, and I'm fine if you want to go just to the school. Check it off and up.
Okay, that's all I got, thank you.
They just wanted to take a minute, and I wasn't here at the last one, there's something going on, but, and I doubt we've even got to that, but I just wanted to tell you I appreciate the emails weekly. I think it's gonna save a lot of, you know, give us a little up-to-date thing. I'd appreciate it to kinda, here's what's going on, so I just wanted to give you kudos on that, because.
Well, it's something I do like to do, so that you have, not just wait till the board meeting
Right.
to come in here and have this
Yeah.
long discussion, but it's something that we can organize. But that's, again, also why I asked for the state email, so that I can communicate, so that if there's options that I'm finding over the month, that will eventually be public at a board meeting, but I can share that with you, and I can feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, well, anyway, I like to have a little thought before it's there, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments for
Anything else?
Superintendent Pandy Pittman? How do you want us to call? You have preference?
What now?
Preference, Pandy work, Dr. Pandy Pittman, or what do you? Hey, you.
Professional setting.
I call her Her Royal Highness.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay, that's
Okay.
all I have for mine.
All right. Item 21 is executive session. Do we need it?
The administration would like to go in executive session for clarification on some of our expectations.
Okay.
I move we go to executive session according to SDCL 1-25-2.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're in.